EGM Network.
Treasure Coast Connector. Connecting residents and businesses of the Treasure Coast. And here's your host, Ellen Contreras.
Welcome to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras. This episode is partially sponsored by Libby Weissman and her team at Senior Transition Navigator and Luxury Homes of the Treasure Coast. So Libby works with seniors and their families to help them make decisions that enable them to live their best lives. And the services are very diverse. I'm talking about downsizing, decluttering, packing, moving, relocation, estate sales, and more. For a free consultation, give Libby a call at 772-783-2800. You can visit seniortransitionnavigator.com and luxuryhomesofthetreasurecoast.com. Okay, so the help I've fallen and I can't get up commercial has turned into a meme, but it's actually serious for a lot of people. And it's really no joke, and as our loved ones get older, sometimes they need a little bit more help and care. So joining me in the studio today is Reese and Graham Garson, and they are the owners of Assisted Living Locators on the Space and Treasure Coasts. They know this issue firsthand, which is why they started their business. We're going to learn all about them and their services right now. So welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yes. I had to say that about that commercial because even my mother, with her rheumatoid arthritis, used to make fun of that commercial. Mm-hmm. But it's, unfortunately it happens, and then we worry about our loved ones. We're going to talk about your firsthand experience in a little bit. But first, I'd love to hear a little bit about your background and why you wanted to work with seniors and start this business.
Absolutely. So I worked at Baptist Health South Florida for 10 years. Mm-hmm. It's a small community hospital in the lower South Florida area. I worked in hyperbaric medicine. So in that department, I both ran the chamber and also went inside the chamber with our wound care clients.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So 10 years doing patient care. I help families, hyperbaric treatment tends to go on, it can go on from a month to 6 months. So because it is so long, and lots of times being a small local hospital, we get a lot of snowbirds. They come in for their big treatments. Mm-hmm. When they have to go back home, they still need to continue that care. So in that regard, I would help find the next local chamber where they're going back home, make sure their insurance covers it. So helping them navigate insurance-wise, that was what I loved doing, total hands-on, helping the patients from the door to our treatment and back out.
Yeah.
During that time, I also volunteered for the No One Dies Alone program. So sat beside our hospice patients, helping the nurses and just making little notes in the books that would be sent back to the families for the loved ones who were far away, who couldn't be there.
That's amazing. Cindy, we have a living, breathing angel in the studio today. I had experience with my mom in hospice, so I'm so glad that you are one of those people. So that's amazing.
You.
And how about you? A little bit about your background,
Well,
Graham.
for me, I spent about 7 years with the Boy Scouts of America at one of their national high adventure bases. I was the sailing program director. So I worked with about 15,000 scouts coming through the program every year, hiring up to 60 sailing vessels to run the program, and working with families, scouts, and everything like that, trying to keep the process in place, and having to deal with all the varying challenges that came with scouting, especially through the era of COVID. Mm-hmm. So once I got through with that, I knew I needed to find something that was a little more laid back, but also where I could still continue that tradition of giving back to the community and to the families.
I like that a lot. And managing moving parts. Mm-hmm. You had to do that for your other job. And now for this, there's a lot of moving parts to manage and help people with considerations.
Absolutely.
So that's very good. So I like that. So now, Graham, your mother, 98 years young. Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is your why for starting the business. And this is what I love to get people to talk about so that the people in the community can understand more about why you do what you do. So tell us about this. I call it a success story for helping your mother before you even got into this business.
Absolutely. So we were living in the Keys. There really isn't any assisted living down there. We had moved my mother down to be in Florida to be closer to the family because there was really not many people in the New York area where she was.
Yeah.
And she did fine for about a year, living on her own, driving, everything like that. And after about a year, we could see that there were some memory issues coming up, a little bit less focus, and then she started having a few falls.
That's the scary part. Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Exactly. So we knew that she could no longer realistically manage things in the home without any assistance. So we looked around the area and knew there really was not much of a choice there. Knew that she would not really thrive in a Miami environment. We kept going up the coast, and we had family up in the area, up here in the Melbourne, Palm Bay kind of area. So we said, okay, this is a good place to start looking. So we looked around, learned a lot. Reese really did a fantastic job of trying to find the best location that we could for her. And the community that we found for her was excellent. It really was very, very nice and did a great job for her for the first 3 years. Unfortunately, you don't always know what you don't know at that stage when you're first getting into it. And being able, after we had started the business, we had seen where some of the problems could lie in the fact that her memory was getting worse. She needed a little bit more of an age in place kind of community where she could have that memory care that the community that she was in did not have. So in May of this year, we relocated her to another community that was smaller, did not offer any form of independent living, and also had memory care.
Very nice.
So she got a little bit better attention. She's been able to transition. And if she does get to that stage where she does need true, honest to God memory care, she can move, but still have the same level of care, the same caregivers, and a familiar environment as opposed to being pulled away from one environment and dropped into another
new place. So
Absolutely.
I love that. So now we are taping this. I can't believe we're in December already.
Yes.
And the snowbirds are here. Every other license plate on the cars on the roads are from another state, right?
Yes.
So this is perfect timing. And we're going to get into how you even work with people that, the adult children that maybe are out of the area. But I would love to hear about advice that you have for the adult kids when their parents are getting older and they're just now starting to realize, maybe we might have to do something here. So what advice do you have for the person that really doesn't know how to react to that?
So one is visiting the family. I know it's hard when you're away. FaceTime does so little, but more than not being there at all.
Sure.
But typically, when the families come together on the holidays, and that's when they realize, oh my gosh, mom and dad are not doing what they said they were doing. They're not living the way we thought they were. They often you hear, oh, everything is fine. I'm okay, because they don't want the family to be concerned.
Yeah.
And they realize there's expired food. Mail is unopened. Pill bottles maybe all over and maybe not the boxes filled in. A lot of times you have a big home. They may be just living in one small room of this big home because the rest is difficult to get around.
Oh, yeah.
There could be isolation.
Maintenance issues can come up with that as well because no one's really seen it because no one's been walking around to that area.
They're not as active. They may not be able to get out. They may not be able to drive. The groceries, the cooking, all of these things are big factors.
Yeah. So then the advice, how do they get the conversation started with mom or dad?
Yes.
We would love for you to how do you do that? Because, even though you're an adult, you're still the kid.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes. So it's when they don't know where to go, where to turn to. That's where we come in and say, well, you do have resources. You do have people out there to help. And we do help provide those options, help them navigate. So just like we did in the healthcare system with insurance, the same for assisted living. So there's a place for everyone, but not every place is good for everyone. And that's where assessing them, finding out what each person's individual unique needs are, their lifestyle preferences, large or small, their budget, their geographical preferences. And we're local, but we also work with partners throughout the state of Florida and nationwide. So we do help seniors transition across states as well.
That's good to know. So another side question to that, what if as the adult child, I'm like, gee, I really am not sure how to get the ball rolling. Could I call you guys and say, I haven't talked to my mom about this, but I spent Thanksgiving and, her hair's on fire, but I don't know how to talk to her because she's a type A and is very set in her ways. Could you offer me, the adult child, help with how to get this started?
Absolutely. It's not an easy conversation to start up. But if it's done softly and in the format of, let's just go take a look. No one has to do anything. There's no rush. Let's just see what's out there. Because a lot of seniors still remember the days, really were adults in the days, where it was a nursing home, where it was not, it was more like skilled nursing. There was not a whole lot of dignity. They really didn't get to decorate the places on their own. I remember my grandmother being in places like that. Yeah,
and that's why they call them communities now.
Yes.
Because I've toured a whole bunch of these places, and I'm thinking, hey, this looks like a vacation.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of these places are awesome.
It's resort living, absolutely. And if I may add that really quickly, so is calling us directly to say, hey, how do we help navigate? Give us, I don't know where to start. And we help them. We're their advocates first and foremost and lifelong to help them through the entire process. Or doctors.
I love that. I'm just taking a quick peek because we are going to have to take a break. But before we do, please share for those that are listening on iHeart and the podcasts how to contact you, your phone number and all of that. Yeah.
Absolutely. So Reese and Graham Garson, assisted living locators of the Space and Treasure Coast, 321-367-3520.
Very good.
Anything else, too?
Yep. Or you can email us as well, rgarson@assistedlivinglocators.com or ggarson@assistedlivinglocators.com.
Very good. GARSON.
Yes.
Okay,
Correct.
perfect. And with that, we have a lot more to discuss, but we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Evergreen Media is your go-to for podcasting. Business owners, boost your brand by educating clients with your own show. Just show up. We handle everything else. Get your custom video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and more. Start today at egreenmedia.com. Vero Beach is out and alive. Music's playing, people are dancing, the dance floor's packed. It's the Sunset Saturday Concert. Fun and free for all on Ocean Drive. With live music by The Reckless Shots. Food, wine, and beer. Presented by GHO Homes, Vero Beach Chamber of Commerce, Sunshine Furniture, and Mulligan's Beach House. The Sunset Saturday Concert. Saturday, December 13th at 5 p.m. at Hummerston Park on Ocean Drive, Vero Beach. Now that's the life.
Create your restful retreat and save 50% now on all Tommy Bahama and Lexington furniture during the Home for the Holidays event at Sunshine Furniture. Sophisticated looks with a mix of coastal and Caribbean styles, Tommy Bahama offers everything you need for your personal paradise and is all half price. At Sunshine Furniture, we have the largest selection of in-stock coastal and casual sofas, love seats, chairs, slipcover sofas, bedroom dining, and occasional furniture from Four Seasons, Capri, Best Chair, Hooker, and Riverside. We're the outdoor furniture experts and have any style of patio furniture that you need, including a gallery of Made in America, Berlin Garden, Pollywood, Woodard, Lloyd Flanders, and Telescope. We specialize in replacement cushions, umbrellas, and fire pits. Come in now for our Home for the Holidays event and winter sale. Don't forget to visit our outlet and sales center directly across the street, Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in the Publix Plaza, Vero Beach. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
Welcome back to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras, and I'm with Reese and Graham Garson, assisted living locators of the Space and Treasure Coasts. We had a nice little conversation during the commercial break, and there's a few things that I want you to repeat, and it's about your service. There's no cost to the person that is looking for the help, but then we were talking about timing is everything. So please explain your services and some of the things that we spoke about of how you help them in different ways.
Absolutely. So there is no cost for the services to individuals. We get paid by the communities, all communities, upon successful placement. So that takes the burden off the families. We help them tour and transition into independent living, assisted and memory care. So early is always best to see what those options are. We want to try to prevent doing this in crisis mode, meaning I've had a fall, I cannot go home, and now what's available? That's typically not the best match. However, we do work with that. So the best thing is knowing your options early, looking in advance to see what meets your criteria, budget, geographical preference, lifestyle preference, care needs, and then if you're in a hospital following an event, if you're in skilled nursing following an event, we help transition. We provide the families with resources and work with the entire family and the care managers to ensure a good placement and smooth transition.
So I like that because even if someone feels that they're in pretty good shape, we talked about aging in place. So they could go into an independent living community that also has assisted.
Yes.
So, and a lot of it, like I said, are places that are really quite beautiful and have all the things. You can be as busy as you want to be, or you could just stay in your own apartment home and chill out if you want, you know?
That's right.
So you would then, before anybody's hair is on fire, maybe a senior is thinking within the next year, I'm envisioning that I might want to transition. So that's probably the best case scenario.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And the other advantage to using a placement advisor like ourselves is that we're local. We're not just giving you a list. We're giving you names of places and trying to pare that down to communities that we've been to, that we're familiar with, and we know will suit your needs. Doesn't mean every single one of them is going to be perfect, but the fact that we tour with you and we help you transition and everything is so different than some of the online options that are out there, which can give you a list and they can be effective, but there are literally 110 different communities in the Space and Treasure Coast.
Wow.
It is a daunting task for an individual to have to look at that. However, we've seen just about all of them.
Okay. Okay. So that's great. So now what happens if, the adult kids, they love their parents, but they're super busy. And for some reason, they just can't fly down and be with mom and dad as they're all touring. You still make them feel very much part of the process. How do you do that?
Absolutely. So one, we tour with the families. So if they're not, either we meet them at the community, or if they don't drive, we do pick them up and we take them with us. We do FaceTime. We do conference calls. We do emails. So we make sure we schedule time for the whole family to get their questions out there, be part of the process. We take pictures as we tour. And the important thing of touring with them is to help let the communities know these are the care needs, these are the questions and concerns they have, because since it is so overwhelming and new, oftentimes they go into the communities and are like, what do I need to ask? So we're there as their advocate.
Oh, I love that. So you are the advocate.
Yes, we are the advocates. So like in real estate, there's a lot of times where you'll leave a home and go, oh, I forgot to ask that question.
Yeah.
We're there to help make sure that question gets answered before, and making sure that the community is able to present itself in the best light possible for the potential resident, but also that the resident can see what's going on in the community. Is it active? Are there people out and around? Is the food good? All these things that are high priorities to everyone. We want to make sure that they can present that to the potential clients so that they know this community will work for me, or this community won't work for me.
Right. And we are transparent. We are open with we work with all licensed communities.
Okay.
And if there are any deficiencies, we do let the families know because it's resident choice. And they can't make an informed decision unless they know.
So you're not sugarcoating anything.
That's correct.
So, okay. So I like that a lot.
We're advocates.
And then there was something else I was going to say about that. Oh, yes. Somebody could be in their home for 20 or 30 years and they have a lot of stuff and they don't know what to do next. So you mentioned transition. So you're not helping them declutter and pack. But if they don't know who to go, you have a list of resources to help them, like with different types of moving companies and things like that?
Absolutely. So downsizers, movers, elder law attorneys, estate plan or financial planners, estate sales, and we give them a few home care, home health, and that comes first before placement. We want to make sure maybe their needs can be met at home and they don't have to go into assisted living quite yet. Yeah. Or they do and they can follow. We will all work together.
Okay. All right. I love that. I'm just looking at that, the time. And you know what I think? Because I have a feeling that people are leaning in, with the podcast, like, how do I get in touch? So with the second half, share your contact information, please.
Sure. Okay. Graham and Reese Garson, assisted living locators at the Space and Treasure Coast. Our telephone number is 321-367-3520. That is also a textable line. Okay. So we can answer texts as well.
Great.
Or you can reach out to us via email, rgarson@assistedlivinglocators.com or ggarson@assistedlivinglocators.com.
Very good. GARSON. And so I wanted to circle back because your backgrounds are really like amazing for this, and your temperament and your personality. You're just a few times I've interacted with you guys, even at networking, you're both very calm and just chill, but there's education behind. So there's the firsthand experience of dealing with your mom.
Correct.
And then how you felt when you were on that side of the table, so to speak. Now you're on this side. So that's great to be the advocate. But you have a hospital administration background. You're an EMT. Oh my, so explain all about that again, please.
So working in the hospital environment, because I also went in the chamber in addition to running it, I got my EMT license to feel comfortable being in the chamber. I was their only life support should anything happen during that time.
Okay.
So I got my EMT's license. And then during the 10-year span, I also got my undergrad and master's in health administration. So all of this comes handy when working in healthcare, and just, it's all about being there for the patients, for the residents, and just giving them a helping hand, helping when they're in crisis mode, helping simplify the whole process. It can be very overwhelming.
Yeah. And even again, for the adult children, I was just thinking about all the things that I learned as my mother was getting older that helped me even with my husband with some of his operations and such. I can't believe, where did the time go, Cindy? So we only have a couple of minutes left. So with the next 60 seconds, what would you like to either reiterate or touch on that we didn't get a chance to discuss?
I think the thing I'd reiterate is timing is important. Trying to be out there in advance, trying to minimize the opportunity where you're left with only one or two opportunities or choices. Reaching out early, a huge key.
Your local placement services, because we are local. We do work with you. We're lifelong advocates.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just think that we even talked about this in the commercial break. Somebody could be living alone just fine. They slip, they fall, they break a bone, they go to the hospital, operation, then the PT, OT stuff. And then they say, we're so sorry, but you cannot go home. You are not able. That's what you're trying to prevent, but you can still help. I know we have 1 minute left, but that's something else that you can step in when someone's hair is now on fire.
Correct.
That's right. Any point we can step in and help the family through the entire process.
All right. I love that very much. And so I want to do, well, first I want to say thank you both for being on this show, because people need to hear this, the seniors themselves, the family members. And then, of course, your dear friend, Libby Weissman, senior transition Transition Navigator. So Libby loves to refer to you,
Yeah, she's
for
wonderful.
you all the
Fantastic.
time.
We love her.
So seniortransitionnavigator.com, luxuryhomesofthetreasurecoast.com. Libby is a senior herself, so she knows a thing or two about transitioning. 772-783-2800. And with that, we're at the end of the show. My name is Ellen Contreras, host of Treasure Coast Connector. I hope everyone has a safe, productive, wonderful week. Until next week, I miss you already.